Hey y'all, welcome back to Tater Talk. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Haley.
and we are going to talk about all things packaging today. Little did I know
Hmm.
that we are finding out that so much goes into the fry. Did not know so much went into packaging.
Yes.
But we are talking to Michael Grandinetti today. He has had 9 years at Lamb and gone through the ranks for so many things, but he is now landed as our senior manager, packaging engineer.
Yes. For packaging innovation.
Yes.
Never thought. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's great. So Michael holds a Bachelor of Science in biological engineering. Wow. With a focus on packaging from the University of Florida and an MBA in management from Boise State University. So like really all the way across the country and
Yeah.
all the way across the spectrum in terms of knowledge. So
He is a major Gators fan, just FYI for
Oh,
people.
good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. And his journey spans, like Rachel said, 9 years, but hands-on roles in packaging labs to spearheading packaging solutions for one of the biggest names in the food production industry. Yours truly, Lamb Weston.
But he's one of our future leaders. He's received an award for that. And he's also a champion of teamwork and innovation and really customer centric design. He's done so much for the company. We've talked about recycle ready bags publicly, and he was one of the masterminds behind all of that. I'm sure he probably wouldn't say that, but he's done so much for our company and for our customers, and so we're just really lucky to have him. He's constantly just optimizing different packaging, sustainability, leading in that high performing teams. So he just brings a wealth of knowledge and insights to the table.
Yeah, and I think like most people here, if you have ideas, he wants to hear them. He always wants to see what new cutting edge things we can do in the packaging space. So let's dive into that world of packaging innovation with our very own Michael Grandinetti.
Okay, thanks, Michael, for being here today. We're super excited to have you on Tater Talk.
Thanks for having me.
So we're gonna get into all things packaging innovation. That feels kind of elusive if you have no idea what it is. Can you give us a little bit a peek behind the curtain of like what packaging innovation is and the process behind all of that?
Sure. Yeah, so our innovation process starts with an idea, right? And then it goes through our stage gate process, gets approved for the business to work on. But we in packaging are focused solely on the materials and the structures and the size and the shape and all of that good stuff that has to do with our packaging. So making sure that it gets to the customer safely, in the condition that we like it, but then also adding all those extra packaging features that we can, whether that's easy open or the right material choices, sustainability, all of that.
From the idea, you say the idea. Does the idea, probably can be multiple ways, like whether it comes to like the customer or like a new discovery or maybe like marketing. Is
Right.
it like any of those? When you say idea, could it come from anything or does it
Yeah,
usually stem from y'all's team?
absolutely. Yeah, the ideas come from everywhere and anywhere, and a lot of times it's from other departments within Lamb Weston. Sometimes it's a conversation you had at home, and you have this bright idea, and you bring it into work the next day, and you're like, let's go figure this out. Sometimes it's partnering with the sensory folks and getting ideas from them. And what are the trends now? What should we be looking into? We're looking at the industry and seeing what else is out there, what's new and exciting that we can be investigating or researching.
We know that we have a highly specialized team, which we're super thankful for, of these packaging engineers, experts all across the board. How do you think that impacts how we innovate?
Yeah, that's a pretty cool spot because everyone has their own backgrounds, their experiences that they bring to innovation, right? And so there's always a different perspective and a different outlook. Within our team, most of the team has a packaging education background. But even outside of our team, with people that we collaborate with a lot, we have our global engineers who have a ton of experience that we lean on them. We work with the plants and the manufacturing facilities and make sure that they're aligned with our decisions and our designs. So really, you know, everybody's background kind of affects and shapes how we're doing it. And every time a new person joins the team or a new person we're collaborating with, it brings a different perspective that we can take into account, and then we carry those into future projects.
This may be like a segue a little bit, maybe not. Well, I know that there's a like I'm reading it here. There's that innovation is being driven by valuable problems to solve. When you're talking about all the different people coming from different, backgrounds but still have packaging, like, at the core of that. And then also all the ideas coming from different areas. Are those problems too? Is it like people coming with problems to solve, or is it people having an idea and then like you have to figure out the problem? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
how does that really drive what you all do? Or, can you elaborate maybe a little bit more on that phrase?
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of both, like you were saying. you can either come with a solution or you can address a problem, right? And so sometimes there's solutions-based ideas that come through, but ideally we'd like to start with a problem. What can we do that's useful, that actually solves something that we're working on or that a customer need or a manufacturing need to make things easier or more efficient? So solving those valuable problems it gives us a good base and some guardrails, but then allows the team to be creative and innovate and kind of go on from there. Also keeping to account like sustainability, sourcing the right way, designing the right way. We always say sustainable by design. So we're designing sustainably, but also meeting those problems.
Yeah.
Speaking of sustainability, which you may have already been ready for, does that influence packaging? I mean, we know we just came out with sustainable or fully recyclable bags, but maybe what's the process for that, or what's the future, I guess, for sustainability in packaging?
Yeah, sustainability is such a hot topic in packaging right now, right? And it's on the top of our minds always. Even if it's not a project geared around sustainability, we always keep that in the back of our minds. How can we do this and do it sustainably? So it adds that extra guardrail there. But we attend seminars. We're out constantly on the lookout for new technologies. Like you alluded to, we launched a campaign last year about our recyclable paper bags in food service. So that was really awesome. And that's just not something that is a thought and then rolls out the next day. There was over a year of trialing and planning, going into the packaging lab, testing, making sure that the solution is going to work for us before we can roll that out. But sustainability is always on our minds.
Yeah, which is funny. We were just yesterday cooking up some product, and there was a plastic bag instead. And I said to Rachel, I said, the paper bags are so much easier to open. Like even in that, it's like, yes, they're recyclable, but they're also really easy to use too. So I think you're always thinking about every facet of packaging.
All the ergonomics on it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And you know how you mentioned that it's something that I think we're working on now too, is we do a lot of things that are actually really great, just inherent in the way we do it, and learning how to message those properly and get the word out so that our customers know that, all these extra pieces that we have kind of built into our normal process, what we would consider normal.
Right.
Yeah. You touched on technologies and all that and the packaging lab. I feel like that's like so like we were able to go last time we were up here, and I was like, God, there's so many toys is what I'll call it. But can you talk a little bit more about like the technology, how that impacts the packaging innovation, and also maybe a little bit more about the lab as a whole?
Sure. Yeah, so I'll start with the lab. That is where we do all of our testing. So we have quite a few pieces of equipment in there that will look at really validating that any solutions or ideas that we come up with will work through our supply chain. And ultimately, the job of packaging is to get the product to the customer, right? And so we have to do that first and foremost, and safely. And then after that is, what else can we add? And so the packaging lab helps us test that a lot quicker and lets us ideate and iterate through our process there. And then we have other equipment that is more material focused. So if we are qualifying new sustainable film options or new cases, we can test material properties there too.
I was gonna just call it because I don't know why I think this is one of the like funnest most fun things is the like drop testing thing where it's like we talked about like, oh, we can test that of like what it is to drop a case. I'm like totally I should just have you talk about it.
There are procedures around it too, right? So we're not recreating the wheel here. I mean, there are standards, there are industry standards out there, and we have all those tests, and we kind of tweak it to make it make sense with our Lamb Weston products. But it's fun until you pick up a couple hundred cases and drop them, and then you're like, okay.
Like, gosh, we can just do, I was talking to Catherine on your team, and like, it just is, she's like, well, we can test it in the lab. I'm like, gosh, you would never think that there is like a piece of material or what would that be? Technology, I guess you could say, that does that for us. And obviously y'all are having to lift a bunch of cases, but.
And what's good about that is it's the same for whoever uses it, right? We have procedures, so we know we're going to get consistent results, whether we do it this year, next year, a month from now, if it's a different person. The results should be similar.
The same, So that's the lab. Is there anything else on like technologies on how that helps how that helps you all or how that impacts, the innovation in packaging?
Right. Yeah. So I would say we have a pretty close relationship with a lot of our packaging suppliers. And so we collaborate with them quite often to say what's new, what's upcoming, what new capabilities do they have that maybe we can leverage, or something that we want to have that we can partner with them and help create and bring into existence.
Yeah.
Like our paper bags, that was something that came through. A few years ago, we had a project around compostable bags. And we were able to actually launch an item in Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City for our compostable bags. And that was a cold call from a supplier saying, hey, we have this technology. Are you interested? And we answered that call and we made it happen. It was really cool.
That is cool. What is that? I mean, because we know recyclable, compostable, is that something that could go larger like these recyclable bags, or what's the process to get from recyclable to compostable? I know that's different.
Right. There's a lot of investment in infrastructure happening right now. So we kind of have to toe the line between what we can do and what our customers are able to do with the actual finished product.
Fair.
But there are other sustainable solutions that we're looking at always. So it's, can we source more sustainably so our customers don't even have to do anything, but they can feel better about our packaging? Or is it an end of life where it's like recyclability or compostability? So we're keeping an eye on that and where we're at and where we can go.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. What are the biggest challenges you face in packaging innovation?
I think for me, I think the biggest challenge is towing that line between adding all the super cool packaging features we can and making it realistic and sustainable. And so that balance there of, we don't want to overspec something and cost the company money, but we don't want to underspec something and not deliver to our customers.
Right.
And so towing that line, that balance there is pretty critical for our team.
Yeah. Speaking on that too, it's like you're saying like, okay, there's all these cool things. Is there anything in your mind of like, okay, this is the future of packaging feels very like, what was that old school show where people were flying cars? The cartoon.
Oh my gosh. Is it the
Jetsons.
Jetsons?
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
the like future of packaging. It feels so like the Jetsons. It's like
Flying
what is it?
packaging.
Flying
Yeah.
packaging.
Yes.
But like, is there anything that either like you're excited about or that you see? I'm sure that there's a bunch that like you're like, okay, there's a pipe dreams in your head that you're like, I'm not even
there's
gonna put out
tons.
into the ether.
Right.
But yeah, just anything on the future of innovation with packaging.
There's so much. And I think what's cool is we have the opportunity to kind of shape it however we want. Right now, the company is in a pretty cool spot where it's like, where is the future going to take us? Is it going to be more retail? Is it going to be more food service focused? Is it going to, stay in sustainability, or is it going to shift to ergonomics or something like that? And so kind of keeping a pulse on all of that and staying ahead of what's coming and what could be next is super fun for us. And I'll say, one part that I really like about the innovation group and the packaging group and the opportunity we get is we can get so detail focused into the specs of our materials and that. And then also in the same day, the next meeting, zoom out and see, where is the industry going? What trends do we have to follow and research? And so you kind of get that both sides of it where it's very focused and also very broad at the same time. Which is really neat to see.
Yeah, keeps it interesting for
It
you
does.
too. You're like, I'm not just stuck in the details all day, every day.
Absolutely,
Yeah. It's never a boring day, I can imagine.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
You touched on retail too and food service. I'm just curious. Obviously, it's such a different beast, but like, how is that too of, working with what is a consumer end versus like back of house? Like, how does that work too for y'all within packaging?
Oh, the needs and the requests are sometimes totally opposite of each other, right? I mean, there's some similarities, but yeah, the retail is much more focused on, the individual bag or box or carton or whatever it may be, where the food service is by the case. But then the speed to use the packaging is a little bit more critical for a food service operator,
Right.
but the ease of using the packaging is more critical for a consumer. And so it is definitely a balance, the kind of the back and forth, but they're pretty unique business units where, and our team is split usually by business unit. So we have packaging engineers that are our retail experts and packaging engineers that are our food service experts.
That makes. I was curious. I feel like y'all were split because I was like, it does feel like such different. I'm sure there obviously is like some overlap because it's
there's tons of
packaging
overlap,
at the end of the day. But like to your point, like the need.
The experts are there, the subject matter experts.
Yeah. I mean, even seeing like the rulers of how they measure like the flap on certain bags for retail or the size of a retail bag. I mean, it was getting really down to like, I don't know, probably centimeters, maybe even less, of like how that packaging needs to look on the shelf or what makes it look the best on the shelf. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that was kind of, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So.
And we have trainings, and we'll go out to our manufacturing sites and say, this is what good packaging should look like, and work with them, especially as we're designing new things. That's a key collaboration point there. But every once in a while, it's good to remind people, hey, we have these tools that everyone else can use.
That's awesome. Yeah. Jinx.
Okay. Is there anything else that you're like, okay, everyone should know this about either like your team or packaging innovation, anything that you're like, okay, before I leave today, people should know, fill in the blank.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, we're not scary people, so I mean, I love when people come and ask questions, right? And show interest. And even if it's a silly, or you feel like it's a silly question or a simple question, those are actually my favorite ones. I like the easy questions. But yeah, we can talk about packaging all day.
Yep.
If you're in the area and you want a tour of the lab, or we can, show you how the equipment goes. And
it's worth it. It is.
It really is. It's super cool. It is so funny. Like, I've been able to, again, like I said, work with Catherine on your team a little bit more. And I think might be a simple question. I'm like, and she's like, well, and there's like, do you want to know this, or this? And I'm like, I don't know. So you tell me. But I'm like, it's so true. Y'all are a very welcoming team, but the knowledge that y'all have on packaging is mind blowing.
Yeah.
So we're very thankful.
Yeah. And the fact that I don't think a lot of people know that we have packaging, like we have our own packaging team. I think maybe some people are under the impression that we outsource that. And again, how cool it is, like Rachel said, that we get to have you to ourselves. So thank you for all your expertise and time today, for sure.
Yeah, and you might see a lot more people in your inbox now that you said you're not.
Oh,
scared.
yeah. Okay.
Hey, whatever.
There you go.
That's okay. I welcome it.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Thanks,
Well,
Michael.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right.
So that's it. We hope y'all enjoyed this episode with Michael. I thought it was so interesting of just like thinking about retail and then to food service. It's like I always think of packaging from retail because I'm a consumer and I take it home. I don't ever see the packaging for back of house for our operators or anything like that.
Yeah, and how just changing one small thing might impact the flavor or the texture, the taste, or however it's transported. So lots of great nuggets from this episode. So if you enjoyed this, and which we hope you did, please let us know, but also keep the ideas coming for future episodes in the innovation space and beyond. And as always, we will see you next time on Tater Talk.
Bye.